everybody, I am Patrick. This is Lloyd. That is Eric, and this is Steven. Together we just got played, and because it's Halloween, well, it's Halloween-ish, we're going to talk about our top 10 favorite horror themed games. Yes, because if Brian was here, he certainly would make that joke live on camera. All right, so folks, there's a ton of horror-themed games out there.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you could go all over the place with horror as a theme. Because, like, Pandemic, is that horror? Right? Because it doesn't really feel
so
like
that's your number one horror game?
No, actually not. It's not.
That is horror.
Cthulhu would be, yeah, but isn't Pandemic itself? Isn't Pandemic itself bad enough? I mean, it's like world-ending pandemic unless you save it. Is that horror?
I'm gonna let you, as one of the most knowledgeable, sexy game designers / reviewers in the industry, make your own decision about that.
Good. I don't believe in strict labels.
Good. I know you don't. Thank God.
It's a renegade.
I don't know about that. That's kind of a label itself. So, all right, guys. So let's talk about it. What's your favorite horror themed game? I think I have an idea what yours might be, but maybe not.
Something
what
Cthulhu?
Do you think mine is?
Something Cthulhu.
Not necessarily.
No?
I want to hear what he thinks.
I would be almost shocked if
Old game zombies.
if you didn't
Played it. I wanted to.
pick Betrayal House on the Hill as Lloyd's favorite horror themed game.
It's up there.
Oh, so I'm incorrect.
Oh, it's up there.
Again, it happens a lot, guys. So
Don't keep us in suspense then.
I get stuff wrong.
Betrayal's pretty good.
All right, so
For what it's doing.
come on now. What's your second? What's
played the thing?
Oh, I haven't played
Mondo
that.
one?
That's a great theme, but I haven't played the game.
The thing, Infection at Outpost 31. That one's actually really good. It's a little bit of BSG. But it's more horror themed.
do you have it?
I do have it.
Bring it next time. I haven't played it.
We need more than 4. The play's 4.
We have-
need at least
There's lots of
5.
We need at least
This is
19.
the Cloak and Blaster. We can scrounge up some people to play
Besides,
with us.
we can scrounge up Brian. He's under the table right now.
But you know, talking of BSG, my favorite game is actually a remake of BSG Express, and that is Dark Moon. So I actually think BSG Express was a slightly better game. It didn't support as many players, but it also wouldn't be horror themed. But Dark Moon is definitely horror themed, right? There's this infected people on a space station trying to kill everybody, right? So that's definitely got the horror.
So there's like an element of,
vibe.
I've never played that game, so there's like an element of madness in it where somebody's infected and they're doing stuff like,
Yeah,
does
right.
the infection spread throughout through the
It's
players?
it's one of those things where you don't know what's going on. Somebody's rolling dice behind their shield, and then they have to submit dice, and so they submitted dice that sucked. Did they do that just because they had a bad roll, or did they do it because they're the infected? And then, depending on the player count, there can be another infected as well. I actually don't even remember if an infected gets added later, like in BSG.
Is it really horror though?
It is.
I know you're not going for labels.
It's horror themed as much as like the thing.
Well,
is,
if
right?
somebody's going mad in a space station, they're going to kill everybody.
Yeah, but I mean, would you qualify Burke's Gambit as horror then? I mean, it's
Absolutely.
It's
I mean, it's
Based off Alien.
no,
It's based off
Aliens
Alien,
is a
that-
horror movie before a sci-fi movie, in my opinion.
I back him up.
I don't know.
I think your thinking is loose and flaccid.
It is a horror movie
thinking
set in a
is loose.
sci-fi universe.
If you don't
My
think,
thinking is rigid.
and I'm proud of it, I never have any issues with my thinking. I think Burke's Game is a viable choice for a horror-themed game. There's a little bit of anticipation. You're a little worried about who's who.
But is that what defines horror though? I mean, like.
Well, the genre is horror. There's an alien that's going to destroy
But if you
Earth.
just ask like any random person on the street to name horror, like name a creature from horror, you would go,
The alien
what's
from
this guy doing?
Aliens?
Eric's just walking the
He's
road.
walking right in the middle of me. I haven't said hello yet.
Now you have to tell us what your favorite
Exactly.
horror.
All right, get over here. What's your favorite?
My favorite horror game?
You have to get on camera though.
Horror.
I have to get on camera.
Yeah.
though?
Yeah.
What's
Horror.
my favorite horror game? Horror game? So it's a game about horrors or something else?
No,
it's
we're
horror.
trying to stay away from that joke.
That's true. Okay. So you've made it already. I'm not creative. What's my favorite horror game?
Yeah.
Like board game, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or a tabletop.
Dead of Winter, yeah, that's the first thing that comes. I mean, you said I didn't think about it, so I am not going to say it's the first
Kind of
thing
took you
that
by
comes to mind.
surprise.
Yeah, but
I mean, Arkham Horror is really good.
do you think?
I've
do you
only played
think
like one
Burke's
round of
Gambit-
Arkham Horror, but it was fun.
Do you think Burke's Gambit or Dark Moon count as horror, or Pandemic? Does that count as horror?
Oh, Pandemic doesn't count as horror.
What? It's a
What about
pandemic. It's
Pandemic
gonna wipe
with
out the whole
Cthulhu?
I
world.
mean,
This
okay,
guy's
but
super
like,
loose over here.
but that's like saying like a
Go
movie
with
where
the
people
rigid
died is also horror because like I got killed. And Pandemic is so like cartoony and it's like the world's ending, but also,
and the whole world is
Exploding
That's
Heads
true.
is horror then.
All right.
that's a horror. Yeah,
All right. So what I'm trying to say is each one of us is allowed to define horror in our own special way, or falsely, except for Eric.
And then eventually we should come to a consensus.
No, we shouldn't.
No one agrees with Eric.
Because I was talking about the same thing, right? Like, because you are built around werewolves, does that make your game horror? Because werewolves is definitely a horror theme.
I would say
I would love to see a werewolf themed game that wasn't horror.
So like
It's a game about werewolf dating.
Werewords, right? Werewords.
Right. Yeah.
It's a word game, and it has the mechanics from the werewolf game. So it has the kind of characters are werewolves, but you're not really. You don't feel like you're a werewolf. It doesn't feel like a horror game.
But is that just bad theming?
All right. I feel like we're getting hung up on it. I do want to know your favorite horror game if it's not Burke's Gambit, which I know you care a lot for.
I do. I like Burke's Gambit a lot. I don't know. I mean, if I'm gonna go with the game that I've played probably the most out of horror games, I have to say Betrayal. Because I had the original Avalon Hill copy of Betrayal that I got from like a Wizards of the Coast store when they went out of business. Back when they actually had stores.
Nice.
And I mean, I played that game like a bajillion times. Like one of my favorite board gaming memories came from that game. But I mean, I like Fury of Dracula.
Yeah, I was gonna say, has anybody played that? I haven't played
Fury
it.
of Dracula.
I have played Fury of Dracula.
I've not played the recent iteration of it.
No, I
I've got
would love
the-
to play that. We should
I've
get
got
that.
the old copy of it. But I mean, from Fury of Dracula's good. I enjoyed Dead of Winter. So I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite. I don't actually own any horror games in my small collection anymore. It's not typically a theme I really go for.
You had Ravenloft in your collection. I mean, you've had horror games in your collection.
Yeah, I've had horror games.
Yeah, I've had some and traded some and kept some. Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Betrayal is definitely the easiest answer for me.
Betrayal's pretty solid. I think part of the reason why I like Betrayal so much, though, to be honest with you, is because you enjoyed it so much. And we've talked about this a million times. When you play a game with somebody that really enjoys it and they're fun people to play with than you are, it makes it a lot more fun to play any particular game, especially if you happen to be in the mood for that. So that's great, but it's not my favorite. My favorite is Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. It is really, really good.
I've never played it, so I have no idea.
The problem is there's a ton of setup still.
That's part of why I've stayed away from it.
Sure.
It's fiddly.
Yeah, because you get tired and wander off. There's a ton of setup still for 2nd edition. It's not as bad as 1st edition was. 1st edition's like 2 hours of setup, and then which is nice to have someone else run it, because then someone sets it up and you come over and then it's a long time. It's a very, very, very long time. Mansion Madness 2nd edition.
Nice.
There's some Cthulhu stuff out there that I like.
Cthulhu stuff out there.
You mentioned Arkham Horror, Eldritch Horror.
Have you guys played Not Alone?
No.
So I think that's a really good game, and I think it definitely has a horror theme. Right, the alien is hunting. If you're playing as the alien, you're hunting all the other players, trying to kill them before they get rescued.
There was
Essentially,
a game that I played at Dice Tower Con a few years ago called Bring Out Your Dead.
Bring Out Your Dead. Yeah.
It was alright.
Yeah,
But
I think there's a lot of all right horror
and
games.
that's
Like
what I'm
Till
trying
Dawn was an all right push your luck vampire
Till Dawn,
themed
yeah.
game.
I'm trying to think of all the different horror.
I mean, any zombie game. There's a lot of zombie games.
Run, Fight, or Die is like
Yeah,
a
Run,
super
Fight, or
simple.
Yeah.
I think the one I hear mentioned most often is Dead of Winter, which is
Yeah.
why I mentioned it. But that wouldn't be one of my top ones. I mean, I think it's a solid game, but I find myself like not wanting to play it. Like it's too involved of an
Well, I
experience.
don't like Dead of Winter because I feel like I don't like cooperative games that have a
Trader, semi-co-op.
Well, it could be.
semi-co-op, yeah.
It doesn't always have a trader.
Yeah, it doesn't have to.
don't know.
And you could set it up without it. You could just play.
Sure, but I don't know. I don't like the whole like co-op but not really thing. Like you've got your own personal goals, but then you've got the co-op.
I hope to
like-
change your opinion about that one day.
I hope so.
I hope to
Tiny
change-
Epic Zombies is the same kind of way, right? You can play it co-op or semi-co-op.
There's
or
like 5
whatever.
different game modes in there, right? It's co-op,
Yeah, there were a lot.
semi-co-op, and there's
I've actually only played it solo at this point. Tiny Epic
Someone can
Zombies.
play the zombies, right?
You should bring that in. We should play that. There's a lot of games that we just pointed out that we've got to play together.
Heck yeah.
One of them is I'm going to have to come in really early and set up Manchester Madness 2nd Edition so we can sit here and play for 6 hours. All right, so I am Patrick. I almost said I am Eric. I am Patrick. That is Eric. That's Lloyd. That's Steven. Do us a favor and in the comment section below, tell us your favorite game and tell us why Eric is wrong.
Yes.
And
just
Eric
list
will tell
some
you why you're wrong.
Oh, he will, and it'll take a long time.
Be rigid.
Rigid about horrors.
Just do it! Be rigid!
Just do it.
Take your pills! Thank you for watching.